Fear stops us from achieving our true greatness. Are you a professional woman who is feeling stuck, unmotivated, or burned out? Are you worried about your wellness? Are you letting fear stop you from crushing your goals? If you answered yes to any or all of these, then this is the podcast for you. Dr. Charmaine Gregory, night shift emergency physician, burnout thriver, and wellness champion, along with everyday heroes just like you, will explore how to face fear in our lives and emerge victoriously.
Hello, 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 Fearless Freedom family. Today we have no other than Dr. Renee. Maybe you know her already. I don't know. Perhaps you do. But Dr. Renee, can you tell the Fearless Freedom Tribe all about who you are and what you are up to? Because you are up to so much, my lady.
Hi, Fearless Freedom Tribe. I am Dr. Renee. I'm a medical doctor. I don't practice medicine. I talk about medicine on all forms of media, so TV, radio, print, online. I'm there. I'm a host for the BlackDoctor.org's Facebook Live. I have my own show, Out of Office with Dr. Renee, which you can see in 45,000 doctors' offices across the country, as well as Walgreens clinics. And I also do public relations for other physicians to help them to do what I do. So yeah, that's a little bit of what I do besides being a blogger and influencer.
Yeah, just a little, just a little something, something. That's awesome. That is flipping awesome. Look at all the stuff that you do. I mean, you're making such a great impact. I mean, you talk about a national presence. Essentially, you're having national presence and you're in the air of the people. That's awesome.
Thank you.
So I don't know. I get excited about stuff like that.
But I am a true West Indian. You have to have several jobs.
Yes, you do. That is so true. And that's one stereotype that I think I'm okay getting behind that one.
Right, exactly. Me too.
Oh my gosh. All right. So you just brought up something. So tell us about where in the West Indies you're from and your background. Let's hear about that.
So I look, I'm mixed. My dad is from Antigua and my mom is from the US. And
Oh, awesome.
So I grew up in Michigan and but I love Antigua.
You grew up in Michigan?
We have 365 beaches in Antigua.
And that is miraculous because Antigua is not that big. If anybody's seen it on a map, right? Like, Antigua's not big. It's like, how many beaches? 365? Holy smokes. You can go to a beach every single day, a different beach. That's amazing. That's amazing. Wow. Now you're making me want to visit Antigua.
Please do. Please do. It's awesome. But yeah, I grew up in a suburb of Detroit.
Oh, nice. Because I'm in Michigan, right? I don't know if you knew that.
No, I didn't know that. I knew you went to that other school though.
The other school?
Yeah, because you see, I rep hard for my school.
Oh, gotcha. That's too funny.
I'm a Spartan through and through. My mother is a Wolverine.
Oh, is that right?
My sister and I are Spartans.
Okay. So I didn't go to Michigan, just to clarify, but my husband did. He got his MBA at Michigan.
I knew I saw Michigan stuff around your family, and I was
yes.
Oh.
We do. We have there's been some I don't know if you want to say contention or what do you want to call it, but my husband's originally from Cincinnati, and so he was, through and through Ohio State when he first got here. And people get very like I don't know what I would call it, but they're very enthusiastic about who they follow. And so, he would be pro Ohio State. And of course, then he had to basically like shift over when he went to school at University of Michigan. So he went to University of Michigan for the MBA. And then of course, at that point we were getting season tickets, blah, blah, blah. So it was like, okay, well, fine. We need to just, I guess, be Michigan fan.
I guess so.
Oh, it's all good. I have love for all of them. You know why? Because I have no allegiance to any.
Right, exactly. No. And me and my sister we're Michigan State people. We are
No, that's
through
great.
and through Michigan State. It's all
That's
about
great.
green and white.
Yeah, it's all good. Green and white, maize and blue. It's all good. Great. Wow. That's a parallel I did not anticipate. So a Caribbean background and then landing in Michigan for you, your growing up years. For me, my children's growing up years.
It's a great place. I
No, it is.
honestly,
I do like it.
I
I
would
like
like
it.
to get back. I just don't want to go back single. I think it's awesome for families.
It is great for
So
families.
I
It is
live in
great for families.
Chicago. Chicago is amazing for single people.
Yes, indeed. Indeed. And then Chicago's nice. I like Chicago. Chicago's a nice town.
I love it.
What I've seen of it. But yes, no, absolutely. And so you did, so you have this great heritage, you have an American mom and you have an Antiguan dad, and you have this link to the Caribbean, and now you have a link to the Midwest, it seems, because you stayed here,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Chicago's still the Midwest, y'all.
Yep. Yep.
And so, you've done that. And then you have found a way to give tremendously through media, right? You are educating the masses, not just, other colleagues, but you're educating the masses through media. How did you get started with that? And how did you find your way there?
So me and my sister actually were part of the concert promoting group at Michigan State when we were students, and
Okay.
so we loved it. It was awesome. We had Biggie, we had
Oh, wow.
Outkast, we had Scarface,
Wow.
and we had Snoop, and we had it was Snoop and like all of the dog pounds, so like all the people.
Okay.
Yeah. So it was awesome, and I was like, you know what, this is really really cool. And I said to my sister, I was like, I'll practice medicine. And once we get a little money, I said, we'll create our own company. And this is what we'll do because we really liked being backstage at the concerts. It was fun.
Right.
And so fast forward, I graduated med school and I didn't get a residency right away, but I ended up finding out about a really amazing conference, National Association of Black Female Executives in Music and Entertainment, NABME.
Wow.
And it was
Okay.
here in Chicago. I found it in Black Enterprise Magazine. And I was like, I live in Chicago. This conference is coming. I should go because it's in my backyard, basically. So I went and I made really great contacts there. And that's where I met our first client. And she was at the time a 15-year-old rapper from Detroit.
Okay.
And so that ended up being our first client. And we developed our company from there, Matthews Entertainment Group and Associates, Mega. Live big, dream bigger, Mega.
Love it.
And thank you. And so my cousin's a graphic designer, and so he designed the logo, and we went from there. And so I learned entertainment through that, and then I just pivoted and decided to get rid of the entertainment aspect. And then I was my client, and then my sister was my client, and we turned everything and started working with doctors. My business coach was like, you should work with doctors because they don't know how to do what you do.
No, they don't.
Right. And I was like, really? And she was like,
They certainly do not. Absolutely not.
And so I think it was like 2016 or 2015, I started working with doctors mostly. So like 80% of my clients are doctors.
That's awesome. Way to go. Way to see your zone of genius and just like totally apply it to our craft, which is great. It's like a lot of us don't ever discover that. We don't ever like step into that space. And so we just don't know what we're missing. So I am so happy that, the path, even though it sounds like it was like a surreptitious path, right? Like it was like, hey, I'm in Chicago. Here's this thing.
Right.
I'm just going to go to it, And so you did that. And then multiple doors opened as a consequence of that. And then you were able to spin it back around and essentially pay it back, right? Like you were able to.
And I mean, I worked with so I worked with, like I said, I met Lady T. She was out of Detroit. She was a new artist.
Yeah.
worked with her, but then because of my work with her, I ended up working with Chico DeBarge, and I ended up
Oh,
working with
nice.
Stephen Russell Hart's the lead singer of Troop, and then I ended up working with Troop, and then I did booking for Chrisette Michelle and some other artists and actors and actresses, and so it was cool because it was like all of the artists that we ever seemed to work with were the artists that we listened to as kids, and so it was fun.
Which is great. That's
Yeah, and
great.
so they were, and it was just cool to, to know them like that. Like, they call me and text me, and I'm just like, what? Like Chico, I'll never forget. He texted me. He found out my grandmother had died,
Oh,
and he texted me, and I was just like, and I was already bawling. I was on the
right.
lakefront walking, and I was already crying. And then I go, "Oh my god!" And I call my sister. I was like, "I don't know who told him," but she was like,
Oh my
she goes, "Are you
gosh.
serious?" I go, "Yes, he's so sweet."
Oh, wow. Wow. Wow, that's awesome. I mean, not awesome that you had a loss of your loved
Yeah,
one, but the fact that he took the time to reach out and say something,
yeah,
that speaks volumes to
yeah,
character, you
yeah.
know.
He's awesome. He's awesome. But honestly, I always tell people I only work with people that I can work with. Like, there's a lot of people that I turn down because not all money is good money.
That's the
And
truth.
if we don't get along, then it's not fun to me. And as my sister says, you don't have a job, Renee. So I'd like to keep
Oh,
it
nice, 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 nice.
because she's like,
No,
because you don't
that's
hate your job.
no,
So
you
my
shouldn't. You shouldn't.
and so she says I don't have one because I don't hate it. So
Right, right, right. If it's fun, it's not work.
right,
Which is what you would, I mean, which is what you really should be aiming for, right? I mean, that's essentially the halcyon, the panacea. I don't know, whatever you want
right.
to call it, but like that is exactly what it is. Like it's, when you're doing the thing that you love and it's no longer work, because then you can just, really step into your greatness with that because you're gonna give it all and you're gonna like just churn out amazing content or whatever it is as a result. So no, that's awesome.
Thank you.
So was there any fear involved? So you mentioned that you did not start residency right away. And for those who are listening who are not medical, basically what Dr. Renee is saying is that as she graduated from medical school, so she was officially a doctor. But the next step for a lot of people, not everybody, the next step is to do an apprenticeship in a specialty. So that is what we call a residency. And these things are, duration of which are the minimum is 3 years. And then there are some that go as far as 12 years, depending on what you're doing and, additional training associated with it. So, the mantra, not mantra, the ideology, I don't know if that's the right word either, but a lot of people really do believe that you should go directly from medical school into a residency. But that is not really the truth. Because there are a number and a growing number of people who literally utilize the MD degree and being a physician for other things, because you can do things like consulting. You can, you can pretty much do a lot of different things besides, bedside medicine in the classic form. Now, that is what the majority does because that's the pathway that is depicted for us. And that is a pathway that we know of when we get going with it. But yeah, so it's fascinating because, you said that, you had this hiatus and basically during this time, it sounds like you were doing like a path of self-discovery during this time. And so I would love to hear if there was any fear associated with that because I don't know. I feel like I would have had some.
I think that so my sister, I overheard her say one day, she said, my sister doesn't care what anybody thinks.
I
And
like
I
that.
didn't
That's good.
and she was young and I was like, what is she talking about? But I was like, well, and I didn't know that I didn't really think that that was true, but I guess she's right. So I guess my fear would be like every time that I was going to reach out to somebody who I thought was like some big huge entity, like when I asked BET to please have Troop on as throwback moment for the BET Awards, and I was emailing Stephen Hill and he wasn't responding, and I was like, I mean, I think I might have had a little bit of fear, but I as introverted as I am when it comes to business, I'm very extroverted. Like I will do what I need to do for my clients. And that's the thing. My clients all knew that Dr. Renee is going to make it happen. Whatever it is, she'll make it happen. She'll ask whomever, whatever it is, she'll ask them, she'll figure out a way to make it happen. So, I think if I had any fear, it was really minimal. I don't think I ever thought about if this doesn't work. I just never thought like that. I just was like, this has to work because why wouldn't it work?
Right, 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 right.
My first client was 15. She was a kid, and I was like, I cannot let this girl down. And so I worked really, really hard not to let her down. She was only 15. And I was like, she's not a grown up. Like, she
Right,
can't handle it. I
right,
can. No,
right.
she's going to, whatever it is she wants, she's going to get. We're going to figure this out some kind of way. And so that's what pushed me. And that's why I really didn't have a space for me to think about fear. I was just like, we got to make this happen.
Wow.
Now, fear would be, she played some sketchy places that I was like, dear God, what am I doing in here? Please don't let anything
Okay.
happen to us.
Yes.
And then a bottle was thrown on stage at her one time. I'm just like, so fear of, I just don't want her to get hurt. I don't want anything to happen
Right,
to her.
right, right.
Or me, if I was at the place or my sister was there, or her parents, we don't want anything to happen to us. But that would probably be the only fear that we had was like outside forces, like, because at one point we ended up having to have security. It was crazy. But
Wow.
I mean, you know, you have things being thrown at you.
Right, absolutely. No, no, that's serious. That is
Yeah.
very serious. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That's just like, really? What's wrong with
Right.
people?
Right. Exactly.
Oh my gosh. And then what about so what about when you decided to pivot and then, basically introduce this concept to physicians?
So and even before then, because I like was like, I'm done. I'm no more music. Blah blah blah. So I had got the Ask Dr. Renee. I had got it on all the social media platforms. I just never used it. I was Dr.
Okay.
Renee, and Dr. Renee, everyone knew was entertainment, and this is what she did. Blah blah blah. But I just never used it, and so that was like, oh my God, like I really have to do this. So when my day job was eliminated, which my it was June 24th, 2013. So this year will be 7 years. And when that happened,
So
I
so
was
just tell the audience what your day job was.
my day job was I was a medical educator for the public cord blood bank here in Illinois.
Got it. Okay.
So I taught doctors and nurses how to collect umbilical cord blood for life-saving stem cells, and then I also was responsible for making sure all of the units in our bank were safe for transplant because
Got
I
it.
reviewed all of the testing. So when that was eliminated, I was like, oh my God, what am I gonna do? So yeah, I was afraid for about, well, I don't know, about 5 minutes, like, oh my God, what am I gonna do?
5 minutes.
I don't have a job. I mean, I did have severance, but I was like, I don't have a job. And I live in
Right.
Chicago. It's not cheap. Like, and I
No, it's
really don't
not.
particularly want to go home. So I need to figure this out. So that was it. One of my friends was in town that weekend, and he took me out all day, and I completely didn't think about it, and I was good. And by the end of the day, he goes, I didn't want to tell you this, but you were done with that job and you weren't going to quit. So God removed you.
Yes.
And now it's time for you to do what you're supposed to do. And you're supposed to get on TV, and you're supposed to, and I was like, okay, if you say so. So that was like really the first pivot because
Okay.
I wrote for free, and by the end of that first year I was writing for 5 publications and getting paid, and I
Nice.
was paying my bills with this money, and I was like, oh my God, like I can do this. And when I made it through year one, I was like, oh, maybe I don't have to get a job, maybe I can do this. And so and then moving on to the doctors, it wasn't that hard because I was already representing myself. So I had already at that point scored myself so many things that I was like, okay, well, now what's the difference? Now, the pivot from going from the entertainers to myself, that was huge because I didn't know how to sell myself.
Got
But then
it.
I quickly figured out I wasn't going to pay my bills nor eat nor have a place to live if I didn't learn. So my friends thought I was funny because I'd be like, how do you pitch to a magazine? They're like, Renee, you got such and such in a magazine. I go, yeah, but that's not me. Like, how do I get
Okay.
how do I get myself in there? They were like,
Right.
Renee, you're joking, right? I go, no, I'm very serious. And so, like I said, I quickly had to figure it out. Like, okay, you've got to figure out how to, what's your 30-second pitch? You got to figure it out, because if you're going to make it happen for yourself, you got to make it happen. And so, like I said, when I started working for the doctors, it really wasn't that big because I had already done it for myself. Like at that
Wow.
point, I had presented myself to different, media, and was like, okay, well, I can do this, I can do that. So now I'm presenting them. And for them, it was even easier because one, they were still practicing, two, they had specialties, so I could easily say, hey, my client is a virologist and we're talking about COVID-19.
Right.
Oh,
Right.
yeah,
Right.
or
Pertinent.
right,
Easy.
exactly. You're talking about women's health. My client's an OBGYN, just
Right.
easy. Yeah. So it was really very simple. So it wasn't too difficult, but the really biggest thing was going from others into myself. That was the hard.
That's interesting. Wow. It's just so interesting how we tend to not want to promote ourselves. Like no matter what we do, like no matter how many accolades, no matter how many, pigskins are on the wall or whatever it is, you still like, oh, I don't know. I don't know if I can do that. That whole imposter syndrome thing, it always comes back to do basically to try to do us in, so we don't stand up for ourselves. We don't promote ourselves. We don't, take it to that next level because, if we don't promote ourselves, guess what? Who's going to do it? Nobody else is going to do it. Well, at least your clients do have you to promote them. But, in general, we don't have anybody really promoting us. So, no, thank you for doing that. So we tend to not want to promote ourselves. We tend to have imposter syndrome, which is unfortunate because we have so much to offer, so much to give, and it is just so exciting to see that you stepped into that and that you are flourishing. Because let me tell you, I was like, who's this Dr. Renee? Who's Dr. Renee? Okay, yeah, okay, get it. That's great, So it's very inspiring, very inspiring.
Thank you.
And so it's just nice to see us, like just really putting ourselves forward and basically paying it forward, because you're really bringing amazing content into a space that needs it, that wants it, that craves it. So thank you for doing that.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
So tell us about what you're up to now. Like, what are the new projects that you're getting involved in?
So we started off actually after August, we went and had family reunion in Antigua, and my sister and I were in love with Sugar Ridge Villas. That's the resorts where we stayed.
Okay.
And my sister and I were like, we could move here, and
Okay.
I can work from anywhere. My sister still has a day job.
Okay.
But I can work from anywhere, and she's a chef. She graduated from culinary school. So eventually, once she quits her day job, you can cook.
That's right. Anywhere.
Hired to cook anywhere.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
But so we said, oh my God, this is heaven. And I said, I should do a retreat of Black women professionals here at Sugar Ridge.
Yes, you should. And when is it going to be?
No.
I want to go.
I'm glad to hear this. And actually, I'm going to send them an email today because, the whole world shut down. And I was like, God help us, what's going on?
Right.
So it was supposed to be November. I think it was the first or second weekend of November. And so I'm still trying to figure out what we're going to do. Because honestly, I keep telling everyone, honestly, I think we'd be safer over there than we are here.
Well,
the way that they've handled this,
right,
is far better than the U.S. has.
Well, they don't have a choice. Their population is smaller.
Exactly.
And right.
But I mean, there was no reason that I call him the occupant couldn't have handled this a whole lot better. We didn't have to be in this position, but that's another story. But that is like the biggest thing that I was working on was that we're going to do this. And
right.
I had speakers because we wanted to cover all the things that me and my girlfriends would talk about.
Right.
So we wanted someone to talk about health because a lot of my friends are single or they're married and they want to have babies. And so we had a fertility doctor, fellow West Indian, Dr. Cindy Duke. She was going to
yes.
Mm-hmm. She's coming. And then and she's like, come on, let's go, because she ready to, like, we are all cabin fever now.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
It's
she
true.
so then we also want to talk about money, because I feel like even as doctors, we don't even have the education on, just different kind of savings and
Oh,
different kind
yes.
of investing things. So we wanted to make sure we covered that.
Mm-hmm.
And then um and I forgot what the other thing was, but we were just trying to have the conversations that I have with my girlfriends. We were thinking about a matchmaker too, because I have a lot of single friends.
Oh, yeah. There you
But
go.
Black women professionals, 30 was going to be our cap for the first year, 30
Mm-hmm.
people. And Sugar Ridge was setting it out for us. They, conference rooms, they were giving us break on the rooms. I mean, it's going to be amazing. I'm not going to say what. It's going to be amazing, whether
Right.
it's in 2020 or 2021.
Right.
It's going to
Right.
be
Right.
amazing.
Yeah.
And when I tell you this place is the most beautiful place you've ever seen, well, Antigua's beautiful, period. But then this resort is just amazing. Has everything you could think of, everything. So that was like the biggest thing I was working on. And then I just had goals that I had for the year that I was like, well, you know what? This pandemic is not going to prevent us from getting this stuff done. So I really want to get paid by YouTube. And so
Oh, yes.
this morning, I didn't look at the
So now, of
percentage.
course, I'm doing this. I'm like, all right, my ears are like peaked up because I'm like, my little YouTube channel is just kind of like
Look,
struggling.
maybe I need to do a course in our group or something. But I'm at 74%. Like literally, I'm at less than 100 hours from 3,000. You have to have 4,000 hours.
Wow.
And so I am just like, I set intentions every day. The power of intention is very powerful. And so I set intentions every day. And so my intention this morning was that today I'm going to have 4,000 plus hours of YouTube. And
Nice.
so I am doing a really huge interview today. And I know a lot of people have been sharing it and talking about it. So I think that we should be able to chip that out right away. And before
Awesome.
midnight tonight, I have another huge interview this week as well. So today I'm interviewing Miss Tequila, and then later this week I'm interviewing Chef Carla Hall from
Nice.
ABC and Top Chef. And so I was like, I know, but I have faith. I think today,
Right.
look, my West Indian soca
Gonna happen
lovers are
today.
gonna come
Gonna
through
happen
today.
today.
They're
Yes.
gonna come through today. So that was one of my goals for this year, and I literally took myself from January. I had like 400 views a month to like, I think the month of April I went almost to 40,000.
That's awesome.
So
Wow.
I was like, okay, if you pay attention to it, you can get it done. You just have to pay attention to it. And so I fell off like in the last few weeks. I think just with everything going on, I was just like frozen.
Understandable.
And so I wasn't posting my videos as much, and I wasn't doing what I do. And so my numbers are kind of down, but they're still in 5 figures. So they're not
Right.
They're just a little down. And actually, instead of having 90 something subscribers the last 30 days, I have like 61 or 71. So it's like, it's just minimal. But I know what to do now because I've done it. And so I didn't think this was going to be one of my offerings, but I think this is something I am going to offer, is to help people with this. And and they would pay me to teach them and show them, because like I said, now that I've done it, I know it works. I took a class in February, and I put to work what they said, and it worked. And I was just like,
oh, wow.
And I'm always my test subject. And I was like, this is actually working. Like, these numbers are ridiculous. And
Wow.
so, and like I said, to go from 3 figures to going that high, I was like, wow. And then the other thing I said I was working on this year was Pinterest. Same
Okay.
thing.
Yeah, Pinterest is a powerful one too. People sleep on Pinterest, but it's powerful.
Pinterest is like the 3rd largest search engine.
Yes, it is.
First there's Google, then there's YouTube, and then
Yep.
there's Pinterest.
Yep. And it's evergreen.
And that's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so Pinterest, I've been using that to get people to the YouTube. And plus I am an influencer, and I have a lot of affiliates. And so I use that to get people to my affiliates.
Nice.
To purchase. And so Pinterest, I had like 2,000 monthly views, and now we got up to like 35,000 or something.
Nice.
Since January. So, those were the 2 things I was like really working on. My other goal this year was that I was going to be speaking more. And then of course COVID came. So then I was like, shoot, because I actually had just the week before we got locked down, I had went to an pharmaceutical company for something else, but I told them about my idea of what I wanted to talk about.
Right.
And they were like, yeah, that's great. So I'm gonna do consulting. There's diversity inclusion consulting, but I'm gonna do
Yes.
food inclusion consulting. I have
Ah,
severe food allergies, and this is something that needs to be addressed because to this day, people are still dying at the office party because
yeah. Yeah.
somebody didn't tell them the right thing or whatever. So that's what I'm gonna do. So I had spoke to
Awesome.
some people, and I was gonna do that, and then we shut down. Well,
Oh my
I
gosh.
ended up in this COVID. I have had 5 or 6 speaking engagements already
Look at that.
from my little studio here. So
Yes.
I was
Yes.
like, okay. So I mean, once we get out of this, obviously, I'll just keep it going. But
That's right.
that was something that I was like, I want to speak more. Last year, I did one in Florida, one in California, speaking engagements, and I was like, oh my God, this is great. 2020, we're gonna do more.
Right.
And I thought, like I said, I thought COVID was putting a stop to that, but it hasn't. I have one that's still coming up that's already in the book still. So I'm really
Awesome.
excited about
Yeah.
that. And then just really just getting it out, getting everything out there. I just really want the masses to understand that my hashtag is live life you deserve. Everyone can be happy. And I just, I don't want anyone to say they can't be. Everyone can be happy. In this day and age, there is no excuse. The gatekeepers are gone. There's just no excuse for you not to do exactly whatever it is you want to do. And if that's your passion, your profits will come with it.
That's the truth. Wow, that's a good pearl, lady. Oh, that's really good. Really, really good. Absolutely. Wow. No. Oh my gosh. Like, didn't I tell you guys that big things were coming from this lady? I told you that before we even started this conversation. And see, she delivered. Told you. Oh my goodness. Wow. So you have to let everybody know how they can find you because
I
now
am,
they're curious.
yeah, I'm Ask Dr. Renee on all platforms. So that's YouTube, Pinterest, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok. And my website is very simple. I'm a resource for information. So my website's Ask Dr. Renee, AskDrRenee.info.
Awesome. Awesome.
Yeah.
Love it. Love it. Oh my gosh. So this is always a part where I'm like, because we have had such a great conversation. There has been so much in here from like, hey, when we go back to our roots, we find amazing treasures to, wow, you may think a path is going one way, but it totally gets turned to a completely different one and turns out to be the one that you should have been on in the first place. All these amazing things. So thank you, thank you, thank you for all of that, Dr. Renee.
You're welcome.
And I know that the tribe is like, ears to, well, ears to headphones or ears to whatever, and loving it. So, you brought it. So we appreciate you for sure. And we are going to be looking to see what you have coming up. I know me personally, I have basically decided that I'm going to pay attention to my YouTube channel because I really haven't. I've been putting content there kind of over the years, but really haven't done
Host and ghost.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. For years, like 4 years. 4 years. I have like content from years and years ago. And so I know that that's not how you get your channel out there and people picking up on it. So I'm gonna have to hit you up when you have this course because I think I need to pay attention to that because I think that's a great way to get the word out about podcasting because that's my jam.
Yep.
And also to get the word out about this particular podcast because it's my heart. And so just so that more people can know about it and get the amazing content that comes through from amazing guests like you. And so why be selfish about it, right?
Exactly.
Like let's get it spread. Let's get it spread. So, in that vein, it kind of like, kind of saddens me a little bit that we have to bring our conversation to an end, but I am just excited that you took time out of your busy schedule to be here with us and to share your truth with us because we do appreciate it.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah. And so we have a tradition on the show and it is our fill in the blanks. Are you ready, Dr. Renee? Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, cool. All right. So the first one is, if I am fearless, I will.
If I am fearless, I will do everything I ever dreamed of.
Love it. The next one is, to me, fearless freedom means.
To me, fearless freedom means checking all the boxes and just knocking everything off the to-do list.
Awesome. Awesome. And last but not least, my battle cry is.
Oh no, not again. Oh, okay.
Yeah, your battle cry. What is it?
My battle cry is live life you deserve. I just want everyone to be happy.
Sweet. Awesome. Awesome, 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 awesome. Dr. Renee, you guys, this is she, and she is awesome. So be sure to check her out at Ask Dr. Renee on all the platforms. And I will chat with you all later.